Titans hit the football field for week 1 of the NFL preseason against the Buccaneers this Saturday. So the Titans, of course, decided to release their first unofficial depth chart. And there's a little bit of surprises that I saw, and I'm going to give you my takeaways for it for today. The first takeaway that I have, and came at not a shocker, but a bit of surprise that it became this early in the season, and that's Gunnar Helm at your tight end too. We know that Chigakonkwo is going to be your tight end one. He's going to be your starter, but to pass over Josh Whyle, who's been the vet here right off the bat, coming in for a couple years, and now to jump him that easily comes at a bit of surprise to me. I know Gunnar Helm is a very, very, very solid tight end, and we saw that at his time in Texas, and he's seen it throughout his time throughout training camp. But you see these stats. They don't lie. 60 receptions, 786 yards, 13.1 yards per catch, and 7 touchdowns. Like, he is an absolute dog, and it's not really your kind of guy that's going to have your pass blocking tight end, but kind of your receiving tight end. You want that safety valve for Cam Ward. But the question that I have is, what does this mean for Josh Whyle? Does it mean that he's a potential cut candidate? If the Titans were willingly just to drop him automatically down to the third place on the depth chart, usually you kind of see your veterans in your first unofficial depth chart be there, and then the rookies make their way up throughout the preseason over and over and over because you see it every single week. But are they going to cut him because they just don't see the need for him with Helm and with Chigakonkwo? And with Chig, yeah, I think he's going to be here this season, but he's also a free agent after next year. I think if Gunnar Helm plays very well, which we've seen throughout training camp, Helm will be your tight end of the future. I already think he's going to possibly pass Chig in the future. That's why you drafted him. You needed a guy that could go out and be that pass-catching tight end for your new franchise quarterback in Cam Ward, which I think that's what you went for. I think Chig has an ability to break out this season, but they might look to trade him. And also, you could use that 12 personnel. We got football, ladies and gentlemen. Football on the field. Week 1 of the preseason is just about here. And if you're excited for Titans versus Buccaneers, go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon, and like today's video. This was kind of a position battle that I've talked about on the channel here for weeks to come at the start of training camp. And it was, who is going to be your linebacker 2? We knew Cody Barton, who has been an absolute stud throughout training camp, picking off Cam Ward a bunch of times, making his life hell. But the question mark was, who was going to be in that second linebacker spot? And it looks like it's going to be James Williams. We had a question, was it going to be Otis Reese? Was it going to be Cedric Gray? Well, James Williams has broken out during camp. He's looked incredible. He's looked great. Coming over from playing safety, moving into linebacker, it's really helped him. And you can see that the way he's played in camp has moved him up on the depth chart to being that second starter. This is what Brian Callahan, the head coach, had to say about just how good James Williams has been. He said he's matured from his first year to his second. He's starting to understand the linebacker position with your eyes and your reads and how quickly you have to diagnose and react. Those things have improved leaps and bounds from his first year to his second year. Combine that with the mental improvement with his maturity, and he's put himself in a really nice position. And here's just a little highlight from training camp of just what he's done over the course of these past couple weeks. A nice pick of Cam Ward over the middle, ball intended for Van Jefferson. It's always nice to see kind of your interior linebackers get some reps, and we've seen James Williams getting better and better over this course of minicamp, OTAs, and now into training camp. And we're going to see him probably a lot on the field this Saturday. I'll ask you guys, though. Do you think Williams should start at linebacker 2? Or do you think it should be Otis Reese? Do you think it should be Cedric Gray? Like, none of these guys have a lot of experience. Everybody from last year's team is not here anymore. Kenneth Murray. He's not here. You also have got rid of Jack Gibbons. It's all new linebackers. Do you think Williams should start a linebacker 2? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments section. My wide receivers, it's a surprise, but not like, okay, this is out in the open of what is going to happen. We know they cut Treylon Burks, and they just moved on from that. Calvin Ridley is your number 1. Tyler Lockett is your slot. Van Jefferson, and then Alec Manor. But I think over the course of the preseason, and with Van Jefferson kind of being on the downslope of his career, I expect Manor to emerge as that starting wide receiver because he has been getting better and better, and he's been one of Cam Ward's top targets. And you could see it just over throughout the course of camp. This is from Easton Freeze. He's just talking about, like, he's there at camp every single day, and certified good day for Manor, who is good. That's just all he had to say. Like, he can catch the ball. He can go up there and be your kind of speed guy. Go up to the highest point and catch the ball. You could see from his time in college, solid receiver. 62 catches in 2023, 1,000 yards. Yeah, it went down a little bit in the yards per catch from 16 to 11, 6 touchdowns. Little drops here and there, but those can get better as you get older, get matured, and you just get that feel of being in the NFL. I think Alex's going to start as wide receiver. And don't sleep on Xavier Restrepo, man. Never sleep on Restrepo. It's Cam Ward's favorite target. The last takeaway that I have is Arden Key is starting at edge. And the Titans, they said they're going to go with a 3-4. So you're going to have your nose tackle, your defensive tackle, and then your edge rusher. But if you look at this edge chart, like, I just put those guys at edge rushers. Like, Sebastian Joseph Day was listed as your defensive end, and Draymond Jones was your outside linebacker 1, and Arden Key was your outside linebacker number 2. And then just to quickly go over the inside, you have Devondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons, which is absolutely no surprise there. Those two guys right there are going to be your best on the defense. Those interior linemen are going to be your best on defense. Jeffrey Simmons is a top 10 defensive tackle in this league, best player by far. For Arden Key, though, putting him as your edge rusher, as your starting outside linebacker, I don't really agree with it. Like, Key has just been there, and I haven't seen anything good, and I haven't seen anything bad, really. Going through, looking at Jim Wyatt's observations, looking through all of the beat writers, nothing has stuck out between the two. But the one thing that stuck out is the guy you drafted in the second round with Femi Oladejo. If you're going to draft a person in the second round who has been shining, who has looked incredible, like he looks talented, fast, strong. You could see those stats. You saw 4.5 sacks. This was from Teron Davenport. Femi pretty much won all of his reps, 1v1. You speed off the edge, power on the other reps. If he's looking like this as a rookie, don't you just kind of want to put him in there, throw him into the fire so he can learn? They already said that they're going to they're throwing the kitchen sink at him because they know how smart he is and how talented he is. I don't care if Arden Key has been there. If he has been a talented guy and been a veteran, Femi has the talent and he should be the starter day one. Like Arden Key, good stats, nothing to sneeze about, like 6.5 sacks, 1 pass breakup. Nothing that sticks out to you, 42 tackles. For Femi Oladejo, you saw, if you look at just some of the videos on Twitter, just his body, he has the talent. Now, I've called this a project a lot of times. It's his only second year playing edge. He's going to learn. But I think if he has the talent and he looks like he has the potential, just get him out there. He'll learn as it goes. Going to go over just the rest of the depth chart for you guys before we get on out of here. No surprise here. Quarterback Cam Ward is listed at number 1. Brandon Allen 2. Tim Boyle 3. You see Will Levis is on the IR because of his shoulder surgery. Your running backs, I was a little surprised not having Julius Chestnut at your running back 3, but Khalil Mullings, the running back out of Michigan, the little tank, he's listed at running back 3. I think Tajay Spears might actually have a breakout year. That's what everybody's telling me. Your offensive line depth chart, I do have Lloyd Cushenberry there, but the unofficial depth chart has Corey Levin at your center position, but Lloyd Cushenberry is still on the PUP list. He will easily go back to that starting spot once he gets activated and clears his physical. You have Dan Moore Jr., Kevin Zeitler, J.C. Latham, Peter Skronsky. All those guys are expected to be at those spots. Go ahead and rate the Titans roster so far. You've seen a lot of the depth chart. What do you guys think? A, B, C, D, or F? Go down in the comments right now and let me know what you think. I'm going to give it, it was the Titans were the worst team in the league last year. I'll give it a B-, a C+. I think it's a lot better than we saw. Then we have the cornerback depth chart, and like Lloyd Cushenberry, L'Jarius Sneed is still on the PUP list, so I have him listed as your cornerback 1 because he's going to be your cornerback 1. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Roger McCreary as your starters with your nickel corner, your cornerback 2. And then the safety, you saw yesterday, Quandre Diggs back on the team, and you have 4 guys at the safety position. Amani Hooker, Xavier Woods, Kevin Winston Jr., who I'm the biggest fan of, and then Quandre Diggs. They're all going to compete for starting spots, but I expect this is probably going to be going into the first week of NFL football. And then special teams. I saw this and I was surprised. I was actually surprised because we talked about on this channel how good Chimere DK is at returning punts. He did it at Florida. Well, you can see right there, James Prochet is at your punt returner, and then Jaquan Jackson as your kick returner instead of Julius Chestnut. Little bit surprises, but I think that could change over the course of the preseason. That's going to do it for today's edition of Titans Today by Chat Sports. We got you covered. We're going to have a recap of Saturday's game for Titans and Buccaneers, so make sure you're subscribed for all up-to-date Titans news and rumors. And as always, tighten up.